Welcome back to the Always Aggressive podcast. Corey Fontana, head coach Tony Ersland here, coming to you on a Thursday morning instead of our typical Wednesday taping. It's been a heck of a week around the Purdue Athletics Complex, so appreciate everybody being flexible with scheduling. You as the viewer, hopefully you know no different. We've got some wrestling to talk about, guys. Had the home opener last Sunday, coach, and we've got 3 more duels coming up this Sunday that we're going to get in the weeds on in a little bit for sure. But first, let's talk about that Ryder result. I know it was not what anybody wants, obviously, but
except Ryder. I think Ryder probably wanted that.
Yeah, Ryder was pretty happy. To be frank, we don't care about Ryder.
Right. But no, our thoughts are not in thinking about Ryder at all, are we?
No.
But no, I mean, just straight from a learning experience, like the result is not what we wanted. Nobody's certainly happy with that. But I think you got to figure out how you move forward, right? That's what it is at the end of the day. And then you got to look at where and why we landed at that point, and I think 6-7 new kids in the lineup, right? So there's a lot of opportunities for new guys, first times there.
Yeah.
And they probably encountered a lot of situations that maybe they didn't see, like 33. Dustin Norris was up big. Well, not big, but he was right up there, 5-0 at one point.
He was in control.
Yeah, gave a key reversal away at the end of the second, 5-2, got a little sloppy, and things kind of, that switched the momentum where he gave away some easy points to his opponent, and he found himself in a dogfight, at the end. And so I think that's just a good opportunity, right, to learn, hey, you've got to wrestle each situation the best you can, never looking ahead, just trying to secure a win or hold on, right? And that's really, I felt like that was going on too much. Like he needs to keep doing those things that help him get that 5-0 lead. You know what I mean? And he got away from that, and he got away from the game plan a little bit, just trying to hold on. And he saw how that match can get away from you. Certainly, he's going to be better from that. He's going to learn, and he's going to grow from that's his first home duel experience. Another one that I would say is just from thinking about mentality and how situations affect these kids is at heavyweight. We know that if he pins, we can still win the duel. Yep. Well, now all of a sudden, instead of Hayden Kopis going out and thinking about executing certain ways, he kind of put the cart before the horse, and he just went after being overly aggressive, thinking I got to get the fall. He got out of his game plan. He walked into a big hold, and he got pinned. Right. So those are just different ways where young kids in their first time in the lineup get tested, in this sport, and they're going to be better. They're going to learn how to keep their focus and execute their game plan, not put the cart before the horse and shut down and just try to secure a win before you have it. And that's just a few of the situations I think that happen out there that I'm confident we'll learn and we'll grow from as a group. And obviously the other plus side is you'd always rather have that in the beginning, so that you've got time to grow and develop and be better. And I'm certain we will from this, and the other thing too, is you can always say this is, we've got some guys, that look to be joining us in mid-December as well, that I think will add to that lineup as well, where this roster and team's going to look a little different as we go. So, not happy it happened. Nobody in that locker room was, but I think, where we're at is it's a learn and grow, and let's put our nose back to the grindstone and be ready this weekend.
Tony, one thing that's really hard to do after a loss like that and after a situation like that is find the good things. Mm-hmm. And of which, we did have some. Obviously, we got 4 wins in the duel. Yep. Matt Ramos came out on top at 125. Kendall Coleman got a win, 57. McCartney Yep. Parkinson had a decision victory at 74. Absolutely. And Ben Venadia in his first home duel went out and got a major decision.
You look great.
What were some of the high moments for you with those guys and what they were able to do out there?
Well, I think the leadership or the execution of their game plan kind of showed through for both Ramos and Kendall. at 57. I thought those guys went out and they looked the part of experienced guys who have talent and understand what they need to do to make matches go their way. And so I was happy to see kind of what that experience and what that looks like. And that's good for our guys to see. Ben Venati, as you said, he found a way to points, put a guy on his back, had some good attacks. I liked what he was doing with his hand fighting. There's progression there. So yeah. And Parkey, and McCartney there at 74. Yeah, I guess so. Everybody listening understands who I'm talking about. Was a gutty win. He had to gut out a situation there. He came out, got an early takedown and rode tough, but had a kid who was working hard in the match, trying to make it go his way, and he had to respond. So again, to your point, a lot of positives, and even positives for guys who did lose, right? Like Dustin Norris, I'll go back. Like, he looked sharp early. This is just a matter of him learning how to execute down the stretch. He's got great skills. And again, there's still positives that he can pull as he moves forward for everybody. So again, I think you're right. You got to pull the good and then go back and correct the areas of concentration where you need to be better.
Well, and with Dustin, I mean, Richie Kohler's a good wrestler. He's ranked for a reason. He's a two-time NCAA qualifier. I mean, Ryder's lineup was full of guys that were high quality. So,
there's no doubt. And right. And, we always focus on us, but props to Ryder. They showed up and they wrestled tough. And as you mentioned, they have some good quality kids. There's no doubt in that lineup. Okay. And so, hey, all we can do now is learn from this and move forward and be better. And I've liked the response this week.
That's good.
We've been working hard about correcting mistakes, watching film, and even just away from the technical, kind of the mental aspect of how you want to approach competing, so that this weekend I expect to see guys handle situations better. And that's the awesome thing. It's 3 matches on the day. We're going to have a lot of situations, a lot of different looks. So I am excited to, see these guys compete multiple times on the day.
For our young coaches out there, Tony, and people that, and this isn't even exclusive to wrestling. You go through a duel like we had last weekend, and really easy for your first impulse and your response to be anger. And to, frustration, being really upset with the guys and a little fire and brimstone in the locker room. But that definitely wasn't your approach, and it definitely wasn't the staff's approach. I guess one, how hard is that as you're a competitive person, obviously I know you were upset. But and why? What is the reason to not go that way, to not, lose your mind on your guys?
Yeah, there's no doubt. I think, first of all, it's my belief in the team, right? Like, I believe in what they're doing. I believe in their talent, and I believe in who they are. And that belief doesn't go away because of a single match. So, hey, I know who you are as a person, and you're looking at, 10 guys represented you that night, and you know who each of them are and how they're training and how they're working. And so that belief doesn't go away. So you still have that. And then it's early and a lot of new faces in that lineup. And it wasn't like, hey, they didn't care. They weren't trying, right. They didn't handle a situation, whether it be technically or even just come from a competitive standpoint, what you need to focus on to execute, we can be better there, and they'll work hard to fix it. Like, that's where I come from. And because I know they will be good down the stretch. Hey, you don't want to lose that early over one bad performance, right? Now, I'll tell you something, and this is just, I don't expect this, but in terms of coaching, you trust and your belief doesn't go away because of one. But now if you see something over time, hey, it's a different approach. Right. There are habits that we have to work hard to change. And what I'm seeing out there, I can't call it a habit. We saw so many good things in how they competed at Clarion and how they performed and how they got their hand raised. So, hey, this is a learning opportunity. We're going to correct it. My belief in them is still there, and we're going to move forward accordingly. Whereas, hey, if we get a month in and a particular guy is still competing in a certain way, then that's a different situation. Just for people out there, how I look at things, then we've got habits we got to change. That's not where I'm at with this young group right now. It's, hey, they're going to grow and they're going to develop and they're going to learn a lot from this. My belief is still there in them.
Staying on the positive and some other things, we'd be remiss to not acknowledge wrestled 3 extra matches after the duel on Sunday. Boilermakers went 3-0 with Cooper Lair, Christian White, and Nate Camasholi all picking up wins.
Yeah, and that's important for those guys. With 3 matches coming in this weekend, which we'll talk more about, a lot of guys going to get opportunities and weigh in, and so you need to keep developing kids, and that's what those matches are there for. Certainly, they don't impact the team score, but hey, continue to give guys opportunities to compete and test themselves and see where they're at. Really important for their growth and development. And right, positive experiences because they all found ways to get their hand raised.
Like you said, busy weekend ahead. We have 3 teams coming to town for the Boilermaker Duals on Sunday. Cleveland State, Northern Illinois, and Chattanooga all coming to Holloway Gymnasium for what should be a great morning of wrestling.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt. And good kids sprinkled in across all of those lineups. So there'll be some good tests all day long. And I think one point you're going to bring up, but I want to beat you to it, is what will be fun is those first 2 duels is, having Devin Schroeder, who's just less than a year removed. And in our first duel would be really fun to see him across the way. And then Dominic Moyer, who I had the pleasure of coaching at Nebraska, who now is a head assistant at Northern Illinois, will be there too. So besides a lot of good wrestling and different challenges for these guys, which I'm excited to see their development, you're looking forward to seeing these young guys that you had a hand on coaching and training with for a number of years.
I mean, since you bring it up,
yep,
jump the gun a little bit, but that's okay. We'll start with Devin because we're going to wrestle Cleveland State first, and he's the more recent guy that everybody knows. But how rewarding is it as a coach to see a guy that you spent 4 years with, 5 years with, turn around and get into the profession and start to continue his growth in wrestling, from a competitor to a mentor.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of respect for Devin. Certainly, he represented us with a lot of pride and in class, and so just grateful for his time here, and then excited that he found something that he loves. Because it's a lot of work. We talk about it all the time that the coaching profession it's a lifestyle. It's just not an 9 to 5 job or whatever. And the guy's got an engineering degree. Right? He's got an engineering degree and he could be doing some other things. So I've got no doubt that he loves the sport and he's excited about what he's doing. So that's what you really love. You want to find guys when they're here, you assume they're here because they have a passion for wrestling, and that's why they sacrifice so much and work so hard for you. And now again, he's found a passion and he's chasing it in different ways, and the work involved is the same though. So just you're happy for those guys for those reasons.
It'll be a little strange to stare across at Devin on the other bench and see him in green instead of black and gold. But obviously, like you said, it's exciting. It's fun to continue to compete with them and go that route. I know we saw him at U23s this summer out in Ohio, coaching freestyle with some of those guys from Cleveland State. And it was there, and we had to coach against him once.
Yep, no doubt.
So Sunday won't be the first time.
And he learned right that you've got to wear a lot of hats as a wrestling coach, right? And I've had to do that in my time, starting at Central Michigan, Northern Illinois, then moving up through Northwestern Nebraska. Right, there's a lot of different levels to this, and you have to wear a lot of different hats. That he's figured that out. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So that's fun too, though. It's part of the learning process. And if he's, sticks with it and one day as a head coach, that experience is going to serve him well.
Absolutely. And Dominic Moyer, not his first trip to West Lafayette. Northern Illinois has been a staple at the Boilermaker Duals the past few years. And definitely it's been fun for me to get to know Dominic and in our conversations for getting ready for events and whatnot. And just a guy, he's been at Northern for several years now and is really making a difference there for the Huskies.
No, absolutely. He's been a mainstay there for Coach Ludwig, and respect the work those guys do. Those kids, work hard, wrestle hard, compete hard, and Dom goes way back for me. Oskaloosa, Iowa, got Iowa roots. Like I said, coached him at Nebraska, but that Oskaloosa, Iowa connection, and then just seeing him, and he's a great family man, and really again loves the sport. So those are great things. Like we talk about a result here this weekend, and that matters a lot. I don't want to downplay it, right? Like, we play to win. We play to win here. We play, that's why we work so hard at it. But you get a lot out of seeing these guys years down the road do well, great family people, good, strong, professional men. That's rewarding too. I take a lot of satisfaction from seeing these guys leave here and go other places and do well.
Oskaloosa, I'm pretty sure that they are in the same conference as Grinnell, Tony, in Iowa.
It's over in that same neck of the woods.
That sounds vaguely familiar. I mean, it's been a long time, but that sounds really familiar to me. The other thing I was who's the NFL coach though? You play to win the game. Which one is that one? Is that a Herm Edwards? Is Denny
Herm Edwards?
That's Herm.
I think that's
okay.
Herm.
Okay, I knew it was one of those sound bites.
Yeah, Denny Green. It was with.
We are who we thought we were.
Yeah. Now we're gonna start pulling out all the really good one-liners here.
Cliches. Those are always fun though. I like those. So there's never a bad time to use those.
No.
Last not least, obviously no alumni or previously coached individuals on that staff, but a Big Ten familiar name in Kyle Rochelle, who competed and coached at Wisconsin. Brings his squad up from Chattanooga. It'll be the first of 2 times we get to hang out with those guys this year as we return to the scuffle after they come up for this one. First time against Chattanooga in a long time for the Boilermakers.
Yeah, I was excited to get them on the schedule because, as you said, man, we haven't seen them much. We faced them maybe here and there at other tournaments, but in a dual capacity, no. And I've known Kyle for a long time. As you mentioned, his Wisconsin roots, as far as being an assistant coach there and being in the Big Ten. So a guy I have a lot of respect for, and I'm sure he'll have his team prepared. And again, we just need to be ready to go out, focus on our job, and score the next point. Has kind of been my emphasis with the team is don't get distracted by all of these little situations that come into play in a match. Just focus on your job and scoring the next point. And when the 7 minutes are done, score is going to take care of itself. Don't get distracted by outside, situations.
Last time we faced Chattanooga was in December of 2014, and it was down at their place. My other fun, Kyle Rochelle had a bunch of battles with our guy Jake Pataxel back in the day.
Yeah,
at 149. That was a great era, 149 in the Big Ten with Pataxel.
Probably a lot of scrambles in that match too.
Oh my goodness, yeah, it was wild. Every time it was wild. Metcalf was then, Palmer was then. Those were there were some tough dudes in that era.
Oh, absolutely.
Anything else about this weekend, Corey? I know you're gonna be streaming some of the action.
Yeah, we'll have all the action streaming on Big Ten Plus. I can't really think of anything. Just it'll be nice to see. Actually, with 3 matches, with 3 duels, how are you going to handle the lineup? Do you know yet? Is it going to be the same 10? Is going to be some floating?
That's it's a great question. I'll say we're going to weigh in a lot of people.
Okay.
We're probably going to weigh in 2 guys at most weights because we can, there's not a roster limitation when you're at home like that with 3 duels. So I'm going to weigh in a lot of guys. I would expect, I'm not saying that the first duel will have everybody the same, but it should be a majority of what Ryder was.
Okay.
And then we'll go from there and we'll see. Now, again, don't hold me that all 10 will be the same. There could be changes, and we've still got a couple days to go. So you never know with injury or anything, but I think we'll basically go with maybe the same 10, see how everybody looks, and then give other guys opportunities accordingly. We do have some other good young kids there, and as I said, like it's early in the year. So trying to figure out who we are and what works best will still be a focus for us. And it's too early to just get locked into everybody's the same. You know what I mean? And I do want and intend to give some other guys opportunities. We'll just see how the day shakes out and where they get their spots.
Makes sense.
Yep.
A topic that we covered heavily last week and we always like to touch on, had a great signing day last week. Had several kids put pen to paper, join the program. Was glad to have most of them, if not all. I think we had 4 of the 5 join us on the program. But definitely we're not done yet. We're not done yet for 2023. There's still some stuff moving and shaking for that class.
Yeah, it used to be the signing date was only open for a week, right? And you had a rush, man. You had to get everybody in, signed, and approved by a certain day. And now it's stayed open. And we certainly have some good kids that we've continued to stay on that have taken visits. And I'll be honest, I think we're going to hear about another young man, hopefully in the next couple of days. And we're obviously hopeful that he wants to be a Boilermaker, because we certainly feel like the couple of those guys that are still out there, they are great fits for us and would really kind of help us, what the next several years will be, from a team identity and culture standpoint. So yeah, it's still an exciting time. And again, I'm hopeful. We've got some great news for people, in the next couple of days concerning that.
So Corey, I've got some numbers for Coach Ersland right here that I haven't told him yet. So we get to witness the reaction together.
Good stuff.
Coach, we had 19 young men on campus this fall for official visits and whatnot. And you have already received commitments from 8 of them.
It's fantastic. I'll take
and
this.
So,
that's a solid percentage.
That's a pretty good
percentage. For people who are wondering,
yeah.
Is that good? That's a solid percentage. I'll take that.
I guess I wanted to follow up and just kind of like, that's a pretty good return.
Yes.
How do you feel about that? What do you attribute it to? What does it say about the direction the program's headed?
Yeah, no, I mean, it makes me really excited, especially because of the youth of this lineup that we just talked about with a lot of new faces, and so it means we're adding more talent to this young group that's going to be around for several years. So the future for this group continues to get brighter and brighter. So I'm really excited about that. And when just from a straight number standpoint, right? I mean, when you have that many kids on campus and we still secured 8 commitments, and some of those kids are, most of them, right? They're elite to wrestle in the Big Ten, but some of their rankings are certainly elite. Again, it just got me really pumped up for the future of this team. And I think the resounding thing we talk about a lot is, they love the group of guys that we have here, the culture that's been established, and that's standing out, because recruiting, man, is competitive, just like it is out on the mats where you're going to rip and tear and beat each other up. It's the same in recruiting. I mean, it's a very competitive business. And so to have some of these tremendous kids saying, hey, we really like what you have going on. Your team is tight. They work hard. They're about the right things. That's the message by and large that we continue to get from very good elite kids that have opportunities to go a lot of different places, right? I mean, like I said, it's competitive. And so what I mean is they have a lot of opportunities. And so to have them join us for those reasons makes us feel pretty good. Not only, for, hey, we've got good kids coming in, but they're coming in for the right reasons in my mind.
Got to make you feel good and have a good place to be when you blow through all your recruiting budget and go way over it. And you talk to the administrators down the hall and tell them, hey, it worked.
Now, I see you're letting the cat out of the bag early. Now we got, Calvin and Mike or whoever might be listening, you're letting that, you save that for the end of the year.
Corey,
right?
can we we don't need to edit that out, but can we block them from seeing that portion?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
We'll black it out for the administrative level. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Exactly.
Put in their emails or something where it won't come up.
Totally how this works. Yeah.
Blocked users. Yeah, for sure.
There you go. So, but no, it's competitive, and you got to run hard at these kids, and for a long time, right? Like, it's a process. It's not a 2-week deal. secure a commitment and you're done, man. I mean, we've got juniors, elite juniors committed, and you're still recruiting those guys and bringing in more in. So it never stops. It's like, oh, the class is in the barn. Hey, we can all kick our feet up, and enjoy life. No. There's always more to be done, and I love that. And trust
You mean
me,
I got to take my feet down?
You can't kick your feet up, buddy. Sorry, man. That's how you lose.
How's he gonna show off all them new shoes?
Yeah, exactly. See, Tony, Corey's always thinking.
There you go. But
reminds me of one of my favorite movies. Always Be Closing.
Always Be Closing.
It never stops.
Never stop. Yep.
Glengarry, Glen Ross?
Glengarry. Got a Glengarry reference in here. Yep.
Yeah, see, you two movie buffs, right? I've not seen that, but you guys.
Brother, I'm going to send you a video clip.
There you go.
When we're done here. It's not appropriate for our show, but.
Ooh,
that's all right. I appreciate it that you send me after the fact, and then I'll be in on it.
Yep.
You betcha.
So after Sunday.
After Sunday, yes.
What's next? We got Thanksgiving.
Yes. No.
Thanksgiving. No show next week.
Right. Everybody who has seen the schedule, and heard me talk about it probably gets like, we're going to be off, obviously intentional, because we wanted to get a good number of matches in the first 3 weeks and then have a chance to really get ready for Las Vegas, which, we leave on a Wednesday, do the time zone change. So we give ourselves a couple of days to get acclimated and then compete Friday, Saturday. So, I'm looking forward to that. Like, hey, we're going to take care of our business this weekend, but then it'll be really prepare for Las Vegas, which is always a good test. And at the same time, hey, we'll get to enjoy each other for Thanksgiving as well.
Well, yeah, we'll be off next week. All of us scattered about in different parts of the country. But yeah, we'll come back before we head out to Vegas and get together to preview what, in my research so far, should be a pretty incredible tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's going to be great. And, like I said, I'm looking forward to just seeing the growth of this team. I think that's going to continue to happen. And so, again, this weekend, 3 more good opportunities. I expect these guys to come out and compete again, at their level. You know what I mean? Like, you take some of these emotional distractions out and really hone in on what they need to do and be better. And I'm confident we're going to see that. So excited for this weekend first.
Can't wait to see it. 9:00 Sunday morning in Holloway Gym if you can make it. Live on Big Ten Plus if you can't. The Boilermakers 3 duels. And last chance to see them in Holloway Gym for about a month. So get out there and support your Boilermakers.
Yep, absolutely. Come out, people. Bring a friend. Let's get some people in there and make it loud.
It's free.
Yep.
Beautiful. Coach, good luck this weekend. Tanner, good luck on all of your moving pieces on Sunday. And we'll be back here in 2 weeks to talk about all of it. All right. Boiler up.